What is up, guys? This is the Sound Alchemist, and today we're going to be talking about the Tau. That's right, guys. If you don't know, the Tau was my original favorite race. I don't know, they're just really appealing. Like, they're aliens, they're blue, and they use freaking battle suits. So for most people, when it comes to the Tau, you think of battle suits, you think of probably space communism, and you think about weeaboos because that's just how it is. And that's another reason why the Tau get a lot of hate. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking about my two favorite weapons that I've been using ever since I ever started playing Warhammer 40K. And those were the missile pods and the plasma rifles. Way back in 5th edition, I believe you could only take like 2 weapons. So of course, I instantly loved the missile pod. Whenever it comes to missiles, I just like them. I don't know why. Ever since I was a little kid, I would always put missiles on like my drawings, or if I could create a class in like a video game, you bet they had missiles. So when it came to the Tau, and I found out their battle suits can use missiles, bam, I gave them missiles. I ended up using, I believe they were called death rains, which was missiles on missiles. So you just had that 36 range, and you had missiles just flying out, which is good because the Tau excel in ranged combat. However, I needed a little bit more of a punch, so back then I decided to give them plasma rifles. Plasma rifles are essentially like laser weapons, so shooting really far with missile pods and then going in for the kill with a plasma rifle was my cup of tea. So, in this video I'm going to be talking about what exactly is a missile pod and what exactly is a plasma rifle. So let's sit tight, relax, and enjoy these 40 facts. When it comes to the missile pods of the Tau, they're a pretty simple missile delivery system that's used to engage their enemies at very long range. Now, it's not as powerful as other missiles, for example the crack missiles of the Space Marines, but it does do quite a bit of damage, although not as much as a frag missile, so it's somewhere in between there. Tau missiles, instead of doing frag and crack capabilities, they combine the best attributes of both. They're like the middle class, I guess you can say. They're capable of rapid fire, used to shred enemy infantry with just massive missiles firing at them. They're really good at fighting against light vehicles such as transports, skimmers, and even infantry. Most Tau missiles are very small, and they have a semi-intelligent AI built into it to kind of track their enemies a little bit better. Because of this, you can sometimes hit enemies that are behind corners, but don't really count on that to happen. However, these missiles can be seen most notably on battlesuits and Tau aircraft. Now, when it comes to the XV8 Crisis battlesuit, this is where this weapon shines. They're either shoulder or arm mounted, and they're pretty good against any type of enemy that a battlesuit will come across. Now, if you want to use missiles a little bit differently, you can add them on a drone. Now, drones are AI, although not 100% AI. They're kind of, think of drones as like a little friend that you just have buzzing around you that's not as smart as you are, but still kind of gets the job done. So the Tau's like, put some missiles on that drone. And especially if you're using a Riptide, I believe you can use a shielded missile drone, which is a drone that has missiles as its primary armament, and they have more defensive capabilities with shield generators. But wait, there's a little bit more. Now, you don't just see them on drones, on battlesuits. I believe you can see them also on turrets, which are Forge World specific, and of course you can see them on their vehicles. They're often used on piranhas, hammerheads, sun sharks, razor sharks, orcas. Pretty much any Tau vehicle can have these puppies on it. And now let's dive into the plasma gun. Now, the plasma rifle is a plasma weapon that delivers pulses of searing energy and superheated matter that has been transmuted into a gaseous state that then carries an electrical charge. The plasma bolts fired by this weapon then are able to generate really destructive heat that similar to that of a small sun. impacting with the fury of a supernova and scything through steel, flesh, and bone as if they were literally not even there. Now, this plasma technology has been used by many races from this Warhammer world, but the Tau favor a form of plasma tech that generally isn't as devastating as others. Basically, what this means is that plasma rifles use overall a lower temperature of plasma gas. Now, what this means on the battlefield is that it exchanges a degree of damage for increased safety by the user. So basically, it lowers the chances of this weapon overheating, potentially blowing up in the face of the user, and killing the soldier. So because of this, they tend to be pretty effective against heavy infantry, and are sometimes even able to melt ceramite with ease. So this weapon, I guess, could be considered to the equivalent of an Imperial plasma gun. And just like the missile pod, you often see this on Crisis battlesuits, Riptide battlesuits, XV-88 broadsides, Piranhas, and even the Sentry turret. And time again, this loadout has been really helpful to me. It's always been my trusted and my go-to loadout when using Crisis suits, but now with 8th edition, you see the Cold Star battlesuit fully decked out with not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 fusion blasters. Now yes, fusion blasters are a really good gun, excellent tank hunters, excellent monster busters, but at the same time, you're pretty much just using the Cold Star battlesuit to fly in there, unload with everything you've got, kill what you need to, but then pretty much there's no escape. It's pretty much a suicide tactic that leaves you without a commander. That's kind of why I tend to favor the loadout that I have now, because it gives you range and a little bit of punch power with the plasma rifles. I guess if I really need to, the Cold Star with maybe 2 fusion blasters and then the missile pod and that, but at the end of the day, that's a little bit too, like, you're putting too much into it, or it won't really be as effective. You kind of have to use your commanders into a singular role, but I really don't like the whole tactic of like the suicide commander. But yeah, if you guys have any other weapon loadouts that you believe triumph the trusty old missile pod and plasma rifle loadouts, let me know in the comments below. Maybe you think that just decking them out with 4 burst cannons will just mow everything down. I'm not gonna lie, I've tried it and it's really good. So especially if you're not using fire warriors, you can just, you know, get a whole crew of 3 battlesuits with freaking 4 burst cannons, and you're just rolling an ungodly amount of dice. But yeah, that's what I had to talk about today, so sit tight for more 40k lore. Again, all your comments and suggestions, leave them down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll talk to you then.